For our first story, we have found out my 35 male girlfriend, 32 female, has been lying to me about her finances. I, 35 male, recently discovered my girlfriend, 32 female, of 3 years has been lying to me about her finances and that she makes about 8K a month after taxes while I make about 7K a month. She also got a promotion at her work a few months ago that she has not mentioned to me yet. To put this into context, we live in a very expensive city because of our jobs and she refused to pay a significant portion of the rent since we moved in together. She only agreed to spend $500 of her own money on rent. That left me to foot the remaining $2,100. Before she moved in, I shared the apartment with a friend and we both paid $1,300 each. The owner has raised the rent steadily over the last 2 years and now we are supposed to pay $3,000. That means I'll be paying $2,500 a month or $30,000 a year. We could move to a cheaper place, but that could mean a 3-hour commute, which is not ideal. My girlfriend continues to refuse to pay more in rent despite her making more, and the financial strain is getting to me. I barely have any savings. I pay for almost everything and she spends most of her money on her makeup and designer clothes and fancy dinners with her friends. When I confronted her about her lying to me about her finances, she told me she makes 60K a year before we moved in. She said it's my responsibility as a man to pay the rent and she can't afford to pay half the rent and also live the lifestyle she wants to live. She also has no financial discipline or any idea where all that money disappears to. I'm sorry I'm ranting, but I just feel frustrated and don't have anyone to talk to about all this. I feel so frustrated and drained. I am angry and I feel I have been deceived by someone I thought I could share my life with. I feel totally lost. Like I have been a fool the past 3 years and I've wasted my time dating her when she clearly can't be honest with me. I have tried many times to be reasonable and understanding. It just doesn't work. She is just a leech trying to drain every single penny out of me. I'm starting to have second thoughts on our life together. Maybe we shouldn't be getting married after all. So what do you guys think I should do? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Good God, man. Give the landlord notice, move to a low-cost 1BR place and build your finances back up. Lose the parasite. Someone who is an appropriate life partner would not act this way. Even if she's from some hardcore traditional, gendered culture where the man pays, both honesty and prioritizing the financial health of your partnership have to be core values for a life partner." Our second commenter says, "I know Reddit has a bad representative for telling people to break up, but dude, break up. What she's doing is financially abusive and it's truly fucked up on multiple levels." Our third commenter says, "Yeah. Don't marry her. She's using you to subsidize her lifestyle." For our second story, we have I, 20 male, feel like my girlfriend, 22 female, isn't real. What is that? So basically my relationship is great. We have been together over a year now and we're best friends for ages before. We are great together. She's understanding and caring and we rarely bicker, and when we do we are both very good at apologizing and holding accountability, etc., etc. She's literally the most gorgeous girl as well. This is important, like, insanely pretty. But I have had this one problem the entire time. When I look at her I feel like she isn't real. Not in an emotional way but in like the simulation way. It sounds crazy, but I can't shake this feeling she isn't a real person. Like when I look at her body I feel like I'm sitting with a real person, but sometimes when I'm looking at her face it's almost like I feel she can take off her face like a mask. It doesn't really affect anything but it's so weird. It kind of feels like Uncanny Valley, but not in the way that I'm creeped out. It's just like this person isn't real and I feel like she's gonna unveil her realness. It's like I can't reach out and touch her. I do and can physically, because she's not real. What the fuck is this? It's like there's a gap between us but not an emotional one. I can come to her with anything without fear and I'll be met with understanding. I feel close to her emotionally and physically, like I don't know. Is it possible for someone to be so pretty that my brain literally can't understand it? I feel like I am going crazy. I've talked to her about this and she was like, WTF, laugh out loud. Like neither of us can figure out what this is. Any advice? Edit. Guys, I am not on drugs and it doesn't cause me distress. It's just weird. I'm going to talk to a therapist, haha, but it's chill. Thought this would be a silly thing a lot of people experience. Edit. I understand people's concerns, but I have little to no family history of psychosis, schizophrenia, paranoia, etc., etc. I have grown up around abusive relationships, however. I must reiterate, I am not on drugs, I don't indulge, and I don't experience this outside of this exact scenario. I am autistic, but I thought it was irrelevant to add. I truly did think this was a common experience for people. I think it sounds worse than it is because I don't have the language to explain this better. I am not scared or distressed by a mask, it's more a feeling than I literally think there's a mask. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "This is a mental health concern, and oftentimes less scary when you understand it. It could be a symptom of depression, low self-esteem, or potentially something more serious like psychosis. Go talk to a mental health professional for help." Our second commenter says, "You have a mental health issue that needs urgent care, OP." Our third commenter says, "I think you need professional mental help. Seems like some sort of dissociation or paranoia, which definitely needs to be looked into while you're in a relatively stable state. Otherwise it may hit you 3 times as hard at some point, alter your behavior and leave you in a state where you're no longer capable of asking for help." Edit. Your edit is making me nervous. You don't seem to understand the concern people have. Yes, it's minor now, but it certainly isn't normal, and if you don't investigate while it's still minor, it has the potential to spiral into something scary. I'm ODHD and BPD who has experienced plenty of dissociation. You're being very nonchalant about something, be serious. For our last story, we have Mike, 27 female, BF, 25 male, made me extremely uncomfortable last night. Last night my 27 female boyfriend, 25 male, were hanging out, eating, having a nice time together and just relaxing because I'm on my period. Everything was fine until he got on top of me on the couch and I thought he was going for a hug. Instead he literally grabs my legs and brings them up to my ears. Basically started acting as if he's thrusting in me and I am like hey, get off, cuss, I have cramps and I don't know why you would even move me around like this, RN. Mind you, I mentioned I had cramps before he even came over. He then lays on top of me and brings his hand down and start rubbing me through my leggings. And I am like, bro, stop, WTF, I have a tampon in, and I'm bleeding pretty heavily. Like there's no way we are having sex. And he says, oh, but why are you wet? Trying to be funny and giggling and I'm like, I am not. So then he keeps rubbing and kissing on me and I am basically pushing him off a little and he isn't budging. I finally told him, hey, please get off so I can check why I am so wet, because I already knew what it was. I bled through my leggings, they were pink ones and all you could see is there's a fresh blood stain. So I get up to clean myself and get upset at him, but he's still kind of thinking it's not that big of a deal, trying to make light of the situation. So I ended up telling him to just leave and I acted like everything was fine when he texted me when he got home. He said, I am sorry for making you bleed, I love you, good night. I said, okay, I love you too, good night. But now I don't really want to speak to him. He already texted me good morning, but I haven't answered because I truly have no idea what to say. Is this breakup worthy? I don't know. Any advice is appreciated, thank you. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, he thinks he made you bleed? You're dating an idiot, and someone that is more than a little rapey. Once you tell someone, no, they should stop, not persist, after all. Definitely break up with him. Our second commenter says, yeah, no, he should have backed TF off the first time you said no. Keep doing the same shit despite you obviously being uncomfortable is not it. And then acting like it's not a big deal is even worse. Huge red flag, skeptical smiley face. Our third commenter says, girl, you were assaulted. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.